All right, man. We got more Maxx Crosby talk where, you know, the um Crosby is going to be available. I think we all knew that. The Raiders starting over. Clint Kubiak is the head coach. When he get done doing the Super Bowl. So apparently it came out that Maxx Crosby's one of his preferred destinations. Some people are reporting his number one uno reputation. What does it take to be number one? Shout out to Nelly. Is the no other than Detroit Lions. He's from the area. Went to Eastern Michigan. Trade rumors list Maxx Crosby preference, and it's great news for the Cowboys, 49ers, and Lions, right? And if you're the Cowboys, it's like um he's lost Micah Parsons. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna go replace him, you probably want to do it with somebody younger. If you're 49ers, Joey Bosa often injured. Or is it Nick? Excuse me. It's both of them often injured. Joey Bosa's often injured. But honestly, yeah, all of them can use them. We can use them. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into it. I thought that was Dana White on the right. He said the trade rumors list Maxx Crosby's preference, and it's great news for the Cowboys, 49ers, Lions. Originally appeared on Sport News at the Sporting News as a preferred source by clicking here. If Maxx Crosby becomes available via trade this offseason, he could have his eyes on the San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, Detroit Lions as landing spots. That nigga comes from Grant Cohen of SI, Sports Illustrated, who reports that Crosby is not against joining 49ers, but could prefer the Cowboys or the Lions. Maxx Crosby is available, and for what I'm hearing, he's not against joining the 49ers, Cohen said on the Cohen and Kruger show. The Niners aren't necessarily his first choice, Cohen added. He'd like to go to Dallas. He'd like to go to Detroit. He said being on the list of Crosby preferred destinations is important as the Raiders will almost certainly try to send him somewhere he wants to go. Trade rumors and speculations have run rapid around Crosby for years now, but the five-time Pro Bowler has remained steadfast his desire to stay in Vegas. However, the relationship appears to have taken a turn for the worse as Fox Sports' Jay Glazer believes Crosby has played his last snaps for the Raiders. I do, Glazer said when asked if he thinks Crosby is done in Vegas. Crosby has been frustrated with the teams for years now after all the losing and dysfunction the Raiders have seen. But the final straw appears to have been when the Raiders sitting Crosby out for the final game of the 2025 campaign due to injury, which left Crosby disgruntled. Quote, and then Max is on the other line going, man, screw these guys. They're shutting me down. I'm not about this. Hell no, I'm not doing it. I left the facility. I'm out. I want to get traded. I'm done. I was kind of trying to talk Max off a ledge, Fox Sports Insider said to Yahoo Sports' Jason Fitz. When it comes to the compensation, Glazer projects bigger packages than what the Cowboys got for Micah Parsons, which was 2 first-round picks, and the defensive lineman Kenny Clark. NFL Network Ian Rappaport doesn't agree with the massive projections, though. Instead pegs Crosby value at a late first-round pick. That's it. The Cowboys reportedly inquired about Crosby at the trade deadline last year, so we suspect they'll be amongst the teams interested. The Niners reportedly had interest in Cincinnati Bengals star edge rusher Trey Henderson before the deadline, so Crosby could be on the table, and if Trey doesn't get franchised again, he possibly might be on the table for them as an alternative as well. As for the Lions, general manager Brad Holmes has been very hesitant to make big and expensive splash because of the team's tough cap situation and the slew of massive extensions Detroit has given, and it gives its homegrown players. So they clear that cap up. I'm not really concerned about a lot of these guys. You ain't gonna see back. And there's only DJ Reader, the big fella out the corner. A number of these guys, even you might not see Isaac Enrique, Josh Pesky, a lot of these guys need to get cut. They have cap room. Trust me. That said, the Lions fall short of the playoffs 2025 and seeing their Super Bowl window start to close. It's possible Holmes will abandon that approach in spring for Crosby out of desperation. He don't do things out of desperation. I don't think we in a desperate move right now. I mean, I don't think there's any desperation, to be honest. Desperation is your job is on the line. I mean, it wasn't a horrible year. It's just I feel like there's some practices that we can change. I feel like there are some practices that we can change as an organization. How we practice, the players that we target need to be more durable. That I think this is some of the things they need to change. Not necessarily play calling. I think that's the huge thing. John Morton didn't play with a full deck or close to a full deck, and neither did Calvin Shepard. Another team to keep an eye on is New England Patriots after athletic down senior reporter Crosby said in the past he would like to play for New England head coach Mike Vrabel. There are going to be tons of teams interested in trade for Crosby if he hits the trade block, but if the Niners, Cowboys, Lions are all on Crosby's list of preferred destinations, they have a big leg up on the competition. So, I mean, I ain't against it. That's Jay Glazer. I don't know why I was Dana White. I ain't against it to keep it funky. I mean, if they do it, they do it. I mean, I'm here for it. If they don't, they don't. Try to find somebody in the door. They need somebody that can rush on the outside and somebody can rush on the inside. He's from Lampier. So if they can find, a guy that can rush on the edge, great. Now let's find somebody that can rush it in the middle. If I give up a late first, cool. I'm willing to do it, especially if I'm willing to, I'm looking for an edge rusher. I mean, at the end of the day, he's 28. You know what I'm saying? So, still, fairly pretty, veteran, but still young. Want to see what the physical look like. Pretty sure he's good. He had 10 sacks last year in 15 games, 2 forced fumbles. He was the only person generating pressure over there. No, 10 sacks, 7.5, 14.5, 12.5, 8, 7, 10. So you've been around that consistent mark, and I'm not sure if you played with somebody like Aiden Hutchinson before. Like Aiden Hutchinson before, and if you play somebody like that, 15, 16, 17 sacks guaranteed. So it all depends what the draft board look like. It all depends, how they clear the cap out, who they bring back, who they don't bring back. Do you want to go with a young guy? Do you want to go with and I also was saying there's a lot of great tackles. They can still find another great tackle, but kind of Dan, also one of the practices they may need to adjust or fall off on is Dan's ability to, fall in love with, trading mid round compensations for, for developmental players. That's been a huge issue. A lot of their draft picks, 3rd, 4th, 5th round, whatever, they've been traded. They legitimately been traded, bro, for guys that haven't necessarily panned out yet. So Noe Vecchi, Manu Giovanni, the list goes on and on, right? So, that's kind of where we at with it. That's kind of where we at with it. So they traded a lot of that mid compensation where you could throw some of that together and some players together to get them. They kind of messed over that. So you ain't got a lot of picks to play with. But, we'll see what happens, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the Trey Lions Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. It's the first link in the description. You can follow me everywhere, Instagram, Facebook, the whole 9 piece.